Looking good.
I need to start looking at what?
As I remember to see here. I need a stream key. Where's the stream at? Or do I need a stream key? Let's see.
You should have reminded yourself how to do this.
Oh yeah, I'm not juggling anything in chaos in my life right now. Okay.
You know, we all have our cable
I
toes.
don't count. Oh, never mind. I won't say what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
No, you can't know.
Oh yeah, what crosses the desert with 4 legs?
Gila monster. Alright.
Yes.
It would appear
Sure
as though we
does.
are live now, so we are good to go.
Hello. Welcome to Masonic Improvement, and I am Dennis Yates, the guru of Goliath, and with me, as always, my favorite junior co-host, Justin Jones. The Hillsborough Hellspawn, or the Herald of Hillsborough, because he doesn't want to be called Harold, but he'll always be my Herald.
Just as a word, everybody that either Hellspawn or the Hellspawn depends on
Right.
how will they like me.
Right. It is Saturday night, guys. We're having fun with it. So run with it. Accept it. Love it.
We can't call this Saturday Night Live due to obvious reasons, but it is Saturday night and you are live. So we'll look at that.
Yes. We are live and it is Saturday night.
Dennis?
I'm trying to find, I'm looking through the posts here to try to find our followers that are messaging us to talk to us tonight. But go ahead and start what our agenda is.
Well, I was actually about to tell you to do so. Because we had discussed a few things, and I thought it was something that you would refer.
Yeah. Well, actually, let's just go into what's been going on, what we've been doing. We've had so many different podcasts here lately. We just had Justin Duty come on with us, and he's gonna be coming on this next week. Y'all are gonna be able to see that. That was a good, but they've all been so good this month, and really for a while now. And then we had Kyle, and we talked about membership, and we've just been doing all kinds of stuff here this month.
There's been a lot going on, a lot of good things.
You're looking very serious.
Yes, I'm just everything is working correctly on. I'm just looking at something while you're distracting everybody. So continue to.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm having a hard time focusing on it though, because the little blue box keeps popping from yours to mine to yours to mine to yours to mine. If you just touch a little button, it just pops to yours. So it's like, oh my gosh. So stop doing anything. Just focus on it.
What blue and these little blocks talking about?
When I see you, it tells me who's talking.
I see.
Oh, see what I deal with, folks. This is my life in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, friends and brothers, it's been a really cool month. Even though we've been in, well, first of all, it's been election month, and that's been really cool. That's, I always enjoy going to different lodges and seeing the new brothers.
Hey, hang on a second.
Coming in.
Listen, Midtown said, while as a guard, excited to see you talk about. Listen, Dennis, if you like esoteric stuff, you can look up Nimaton. I may be butchering the pronunciation, but I believe he's actually a brother, and I mean his content is top notch. Like great production value, great content. I'm telling you, I know you also enjoy esoteric stuff. I really like to think I'm gonna show
Well,
away.
yeah.
But you can check out his channel.
If I thought esoteric work would hold a conversation, I would definitely. I'm just kidding. Our listeners actually most of our listeners really are in it to win it, and they want to learn everything about Freemasonry, and that's why they're listening to us, because we're trying to level up ourselves, and in the process we're sharing a few tips and tricks from other brothers that they bring on the show so that we can have a better experience in the lodge. And the better experience, also includes the esoteric. And I'm not talking about catechism. I'm not talking about memorization and for school work. I'm talking about true esoteric study and introspective. Yeah. That's true. And when you're looking at your mind and spirit and how it relates to God, and basically how we get there. It's a lot like the brothers that are familiar with Scottish Rite. They know about the Kabbalah and the tree and the tree of life, and there's a certain path that we're taking, going from below to above, and there's a certain point that's been cut off through the deviations of man, and that's what we're trying to surpass at this point. So far we're only able to get to this certain point, but we're trying to get above. So it's that's the essence of the esoteric journey, is that we are sharpening our spirits along with our minds so that we'll be ready to comprehend that spiritual experience. And that's Freemasonry in a nutshell. Whether it's Blue Lodge, Scottish Rite, York Rite, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It starts in Blue Lodge, and there's so much more that brothers never, consider sitting in a Blue Lodge state of meeting.
So let's talk a little bit about going back to what we've been up to. We had a very excellent dinner last Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Let's hear your thoughts on it, and then I'll share mine.
Well, that's kind of where the journey starts. We travel, mm-hmm. and we meet other brothers. We discuss, and that topic, we were at the Waco 92 festival, and the discussion that Robert Marshall brought up, which is a very close friend of ours, and he's one of the guys that we're having dinner with every time we go to Waco, and we sit and just talk and talk and talk and talk. And it can, our wives hate all the other brothers we know because of the way that we get together and talk and stay up all night talking. But anyways, he gave an excellent presentation, and that's part of what we should have in the lodge. Now, the festive board used to have it, or they still have it in many jurisdictions on a regular basis after their lodge meetings. That's what they do. Instead of having dinner before like we do, they do it after, have libations, toast to all the different relevant things of the day, including our Grand Master, our brethren, our fallen brethren, and so forth. And the list goes on. You're toasting and celebrating all those people in Freemasonry with you, and you learn something. And that's Freemasonry. That's Freemasonry, and it was so nice. It was so nice. I'm gonna go grab an artifact real quick. I'm gonna let you talk for a second while I'm grabbing an artifact, and you can throw down what you what you were talking about. Before.
So I really like to say that, like just both of them said, to the Waco 92 festive board. But before that, earlier in the week, I went to Sol Ross, Masonic for their festive board. And I'm noticing this is something that's becoming a lot more popular, a lot more religious are getting to do festive boards and things like that. I would strongly encourage each of you that listens to this, find a local festival board and attend it. And if you have been to a festival before, you know what it consists of. Do your best try and one on your lunch or in your district or something local.
Or go to travel to one, because that's always fun.
Yeah.
And take brothers with you. Let those young brothers experience that. Anybody who's never been to one, at least take one brother with you. Share a ride, because
Just want to take
mine is
Dennis.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Mark Russell just stated, just wanted to say thank you both for the products and information. I had slipped from me for over 4 years. Still across your podcast and drove me to be reinstated. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for watching the podcast. Thank you for
that is.
It's viewers like you, almost PBS. Viewers like you that are the reason that this exists and what we do. Good evening, John.
We're answering our phones right now. If there's anything that you if you'd like to drop some change in the bucket, we're answering the phones. The quest lines are now open. No, that's wonderful, and we're so excited. That's the whole reason we do this, is so that brothers know that you're not alone, and it's not all the first experience that you had in lodge. There's more out there, and that's why we tell brothers to travel. And if you are a traveled brother, drag somebody with you. I did. I brought somebody 4 hours, and we actually. Usually I stay the night. I bring my family and stay the night, but we did it together this time, and we ended up driving back home that night. I didn't get to bed until 4:30 in the morning.
The best conversations I ever had were on a long ride that wouldn't really respect their others.
Yes.
I mean, that's when.
Oh yeah.
That's when you talk about. I don't know. Like last time when I went to San Antonio for a presentation, it was a president board. I brought my secretary with me, and we had some pretty lighthearted conversations driving up there. But in the evening, around 10 or 11 o'clock at night, driving through the middle of nowhere, we had some pretty, the conversation got a little more far out, right? But it was great. It's definitely you travel.
That's the good stuff, though.
Do what?
That's the good stuff, though.
Yeah.
It really is. When and that's another thing. Just traveling around your district with brothers. That we do that regularly around here. We have 6 lodges in our district, and it goes all the way from up here in Goliad and Victoria, all the way down to Port Lavaca and Seadrift. And we're talking about 60, 70 miles to the furthest lodge from one to the other. It's an hour drive from my lodge, from my house, to 3 of the lodges in our district. It's a big distance. So we travel together. Goliad travels together a lot because we do a lot of degrees and help out and things like that. And so we travel a lot together. But that's some of the best conversation. You can discuss the hard topics in lodge, because you've got your brothers there that are most dedicated to craft, that are going to help you find the solutions that you need.
Yeah.
And you can also get out there and expand the conversation past what you get in the lodge. That's another thing.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to have some conversations that you probably can have in the lodge. To really expand on topics that you might not otherwise have the time to really sit and discuss. So definitely travel with others is to me it's like the most fun thing you can do. One, travel as you can and invite any brothers as you can. And the second thing is, or I guess the third thing in this situation would be in desert boards. And if you have to drive 4 hours to festive
Yes.
board, well then go do it and then start planning them in your area. Festive boards are so much fun. It's
Yes.
such a good time.
And we all think that everybody wants free masonry, but that's not the case really. Once you get to know people, everybody's just looking for the value in Freemasonry. And so when you do a festive board, it's okay to have a $75 buy-in, and yet the dinner only costs you like $50, and then you have libations. They pay for their own most of the time, but you can have the house wine as part of the dinner or something. Wait staff, pick a secluded meeting room in a restaurant or something, or do it within a secluded banquet area, banquet type functional. You know what I'm talking about, guys. I'm just not educated enough to explain it.
So find a place to sequester away for your Masonic activities.
There you go. He's educated.
Yes.
You hear that? That's a master's degree talking right there.
I thought you had a master's degree also. Aren't you a Mason?
I have.
Oh, okay.
I have. I'm a 32nd degree master.
There you go. There you go.
I'm a Knights Templar. I am a. We won't go into all that.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun stuff. So now one thing I noticed is I can't see the guys. I'm 50 years old. He's younger than I am. You gotta give me some credit. I'm on here, but I can't see the chats on the YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
On the YouTube. But brothers, I am watching the messenger for Masonic Improvement. So if you go on the Masonic Improvement Facebook page, go to the Facebook Messenger. If you message us on I'm watching that, because I come from the MySpace era, and that's closer to my.
Yeah, Ben still has MySpace.
I actually do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring it back.
I'm
gonna bring it back.
Old school.
I'm gonna buy stock and then I'm gonna tell everybody, let's get on MySpace. Forget about Facebook.
So speaking of pheasant birds, let's talk a little bit about what you and I were thinking about doing.
Well, first I want to talk about the other one that I went to in Austin.
Which one in Austin did you go to?
I went to one. It wasn't this month. It was a few months ago, and it was just bad to the bone. Austin. So Austin, it's lodge number 12, I think. They have a festive board once a year. And this past year, what they did is before the festive board, we no wait. Oh, that was the night of the fellowcraft degree at the Capitol. Ooh.
Hey, it's your story.
In Texas, yes, I was getting my two mixed up. I was going to explain the representation of a master's degree that the one they did with music accompaniment, and it was pretty awesome. It was bad to the bone, and we'll have another discussion on that someday. And I was going to intro that because we got this from, oh man, because of my stupid. I'm gonna have to show you my house to be able to see it. No, I'm not gonna do that because my house is not. Here we go. Look at that. This is real music that they used to have for their lodge in Waco, and it actually, back when it cost $2, and this is the original print. They had original prints there, and so we got an original print of this. Buddies, if I had a lodge that had a logo that cool, I'd have that on my arm tattooed. Just saying, that would be there. I would even consider getting a tramp stamp with that, because that's beautiful.
Another one?
See that? I need to get rid of that. I need to get rid of that butterfly. I'll have to go home.
Hey, what year was that made? That printed?
Let's see. It just says published by Waco 92. The cost of it was
Yeah.
$2,
I think it's 1925.
and it's
I
old,
think.
brothers. I think
Yeah.
1925.
So one of those books would.
1925.
One of those books cost
This is
about.
tied together with string.
One of those books would cost about $33 today to buy.
Yeah, but it's just magnificent. It's such a wonderful piece of history, and they shared it with us. And you can go buy one on the Waco 92 website. They sell these as well. The ones that they have from Overstock, they sell them as well if you would be interested. And it's actually sheet music that they would use. So just a shout out to Waco 92. They really did it up right. It was
Of
nice.
course, it's for instructional purposes only, because we would never condone playing music in Greece or anything crazy like that.
No, just like there's no skulls in Freemasonry.
There's no school of Freemasonry.
None.
Music is not Freemasonry, even though we mention it. There's no music in Freemasonry either. So
That would be heresy.
heresy would be awful.
Oh wait, we're not a religion, so it's not heresy.
There you go.
So, brothers, in Austin, the cool thing about Austin was that you go down there, and we did the Fellowcraft degree this year down at the Capitol, and it was performed by the Grand Lodge officers. You know, everybody always talks about the Grand Line. You know, they're all talk. You know, they can't bring it. It was all performed. Every part was performed by one of the officers, and the Grand Master actually performed the conferral, and it was beautiful. And it's an actual degree that happens at the state capitol. And if you ever hear of that, make sure you go. But afterwards, we had the festive board, and it was held upstairs in the Austin Scottish Rite, if I remember correctly. No, it wasn't the Austin Scottish Rite. But anyways, it was at one of the Capitol, not the Capitol Grill, but one of the finer dining establishments in downtown Austin. But anyways, we went upstairs. It was all secluded. There was a bar upstairs just for the event. And we're talking about mahogany wood, beautiful old building. And this is where, you know, they do a lot of the conferences and meetings for people who work, you know, in our public service system, the people who work on our dime. But it's a beautiful place, and so they set it up, and we do our festive board activities, and throughout the deal, you're doing your shots and stuff. Well, they had firing glasses for everybody, and you got one to leave. And then as a little fundraiser, you could buy another whole complete set of them as well to match yours. And I did for my girls, and so that we would all have, you know, we could all drink whiskey together. But just kidding.
Remember, this is live.
This is why he didn't let us go live. I know, this is why he didn't let us go live. But it's all in. But no, we actually use those little firing glasses, because they're not really like shot glasses or anything. They're like half the size, and they were handmade in Mexico. They're really cool. But anyways, we use them for our sushi, for our soy sauce and stuff.
I see.
But anyways, it was a wonderful event, and another one of those times when you have privacy, you have fellowship, libations, you have good conversation. There was an excellent talk given by the Grand Master. It was just a really, really class act event. Class act.
I see. I like that. Hey, isn't there another festival coming up later this year? A very popular event in here in Texas?
Well, there is one. And yes, and I would like to give a plug for one of my favorite speakers at that event, Bradley Kohanke. He's
I thought you were talking about Sonicon when I was speaking.
Bradley Kohanke is the first speaker. That's why I said that. I just wanted to get his go. Our very own Justin Jones is actually one of the speakers for Masonicon. Jim Rumsey is the keynote speaker. Bradley Kohanke will be there. He's a past Grand Order. And one of my best friends, Rick Moore, will probably be there since it is hosted by Fort Worth 148.
Does Rick know he's one of your best friends?
He doesn't know.
Okay. Secret best friends.
But I keep saying it. But you know, if it's like the Book of Secrets. If you keep willing it into the world, the energy comes back and it happens. It just happens.
I got you.
Yeah.
So how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. We lost our friendship when I cut my hair.
Oh
and
yeah.
It was out.
But little big festival before the Fort Worth LT. Not before, is that right?
Oh yes.
That's what I was getting at.
Well, yeah, and well, here's another cool one. There's one before that.
Where?
There's going to be in Houston on Saturday night at the Shrine Building. There's going to be a festive board in Houston.
Oh, cool.
And they're going to have the Grandmaster's Brew there, the beer that won the contest for the best brew, home brew competition that they had. And so they're gonna, which is one of our brothers that's down there, and he's gonna have a keg with him, and so it's always a good time. So we're gonna have a festive boarding in Houston first. That's gonna be our first one. That's July 30th, because we'll be there starting officer leadership training July 29th, and then Saturday night is July 30th, and that's when the festive board will be. And man, I gotta tell you, last year I went. Oh my gosh, it was so hard getting up for officer leadership training the next day. I was up until 2:30 in the morning. Yes, I was up till 2:30 in the morning, and they wanted me to stay, and I just could not. I had to go. Oh, I went to the hotel.
So, along the lines of discussing festive boards, Dennis and I are considering, and feedback will go a long way in our decision-making process, but we are considering hosting a festive board somewhere in Texas next year. So it'll be the Masonic Improvement Festive Board, and depending on the success of that, we're actually looking at somewhere down the road creating something a lot more elaborate, more engaging, like almost like a day retreat, just focusing on topics related to Masonic improvement. So not necessarily esoteric topics or anything like that, but it will mainly be focused on best practices in the lodge that you take and take back to your lodge and put that in practice. I mean, esoteric stuff is very interesting. It's something that we should all study.
There's going to be esoteric. No, there's going to be esoteric. I'm going to be there. So okay. There's going to be esoteric.
Yeah. But understanding the
I'm gonna find our guest speaker for the festive board portion, and he will be talking on an esoteric.
Okay. But take 3 on this point I'm trying to make. Understanding the significance of like the beehive or something like that is very interesting.
Yes.
But if you don't have a lodge, if your lodge is not successful, that information will only go so far. And so I think it's also important to have something that primarily focuses on lodge operations, best practices, and then we'll complete that with maybe like a panel where we question the speakers, then a festive board. That's the long-term goal. Have like almost a long event where we're just people come and learn about Masonic improvement topics, and then with the opportunity to question the people on the panel, find out, really zero in on topics that were discussed.
Yeah, question and answers on. Yes, if it's not touched on, you can ask that question and it'll get answered by the pro.
Yes. And then follow
and
that.
not just us. Yes, and not just us either. So we're going to bring in some of the brightest minds in Freemasonry and Texas Freemasonry, and I get to go too. I'll be serving the alcohol.
There we go.
No, just kidding. But really, and so we are going to put our main emphasis on topics of the day for supporting your lodge, and even I think that even with our first one, our soft open, what we can do is start an hour early or something like that, and you and I can just give some top topics of discussion and talk, and while people are coming in, and then once everybody gets there, we'll start the festive board or something. You know, get some education rolling, or maybe even do a podcast right before and just have members of the do a question and answer, and have members that show up do some talking.
Miguel, hello, Northside View. Yeah, so it's not set in stone. It's something we're still.
Yeah, we haven't completely developed it, but we are doing it for sure, and it will start we're going to have one in the spring of next year, and probably one in the
please.
You see him get all nervous? I don't get nervous.
No.
I set the bar. You got to reach it. I ain't scared.
So there was something else that you had that we mentioned earlier today that was something we feel like we need to bring up tonight. Can you take it?
Oh my goodness. I've been working on so much today. Brothers, we've been working on officer leadership training for so long now. And it's not just us. The Committee on Masonic Education and Services, brothers, we have been working so hard to get this new leadership-focused, these leadership-focused modules set up to teach this year, so it won't be the same old thing that you got last year or the year before or the year before that. We're trying to roll out new stuff.
Yeah.
So we've been working so hard, and we hope you show up. We're gonna have a dead heat cutoff at 2 weeks before the event, whichever one it is. I posted that this weekend on Facebook. And we will be posting. We'll be posting a lot more coming up. Ricky who?
Ricky Britton says, "Hi, brothers." And I said,
"Hello." I wasn't sure if it was Ricky Cox or Ricky Britton.
No, Ricky.
Glad you joined us, Ricky.
Yeah.
Britton.
Cool. Well,
another thing. Go ahead.
I had a topic that I thought would be probably interesting to talk about. However,
well, let me give another. Let me give one more quick plug for something that just came out. The Texas Masons app, the new and improved version, and there's 3 different levels that you can purchase. I put up 4 fingers, but it's 3. 3 fingers. So there's 3 different levels, and they all have different functions.
3 levels, everybody. Count them.
The regular one is the same thing that you have or had up until this point. That's what the first level is. The second level has that and some other functions, and the third level has even more functions. No, so the second level has the updated law book, and now, thanks to the hard work of Grand Lodge and specific members of Grand Lodge, which we're very fortunate to have as our good friends, which are really are. Jim Rumsey and Robert Park worked on it real hard. They did. They've been working on it for years. They're our very best friends. They're our best. No, I said they're good friends. They're good friends, and they are. But they've been working on this for a while, and so now you have the Grand Lodge Law Book plus you get the Grand Master's decision.
Wild Seth Spengler
Grandmaster. Are you kidding me? It took him this long?
I'm a little disappointed it took him this long. I guess we just don't hold the place in his heart like we used to. We're just not near there anymore.
No, we don't.
Oh, something
No.
said Dennis.
We're yesterday's news. Well, he's mad because I'm the co-host and not him.
Oh, we can fix that. It's not too late.
Yeah, you should bring him on right now. Let's get Seth.
He's out in the middle of nowhere. He posted a picture earlier today like he was camping.
Oh my goodness, Seth! If you got 4 bars, let us know. We'll send you a link.
Yeah.
But I wanted to plug the Texas Masons app because it is so important. It's just another form of how Texas Freemasonry is utilizing technology for the better of Texas Freemasonry.
Seth is in
Alabama.
You have a banjo on your knee, Seth?
Hey, I was born there, dude. Don't you talk about Roll Tide?
That explains so much.
I was raised in Texas, but I was born in Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I was born with a banjo.
Were you born with a banjo on your knee, or did you come from Alabama with a banjo on your knee?
I came from Alabama.
Oh, okay. All right.
I wasn't born with it. I was born like every normal fetus, and then, it shortly after I got my first one, and it was about this big, and we came to Louisville, Texas. It was just we big.
Oh, okay. Hang on, I'm trying to.
It's like those.
Go ahead.
It's like those fishing jokes when you say I caught a fish. I caught a fish this big. See that?
Yes.
You do it with the fingers. Yeah, anyways.
Understood.
He slowly catches on, folks. If it's not his little joke, he doesn't care. You see what I had to deal with?
Brilliance. You have to know brilliance. I know it's all living on my show, but
you're absolutely
my ego.
Right. You're the I am just the wind beneath your wings. So fly high. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, you just created one of the best songs in America.
You think that's a good
of
song?
all time? Okay. Well, yes, and that says a lot about my character.
I'm trying to say something while talking, so by all means.
Okay, cool.
I don't multitask very well.
Don't worry, I don't have a problem. Everybody knows that I don't have a problem. So, anyways, brothers, the Texas Masons app is really an extremely awesome tool that works very, very well, and all the PDFs that you have are searchable for your law books and your monitor and stuff like that. So, and they have law books from like 1839 in there. They have the Book of Constitutions in there. I think it's probably the Anson Jones Book of Constitutions. I'll have to look on here. I got the highest level because I want to have it all, and then some. I'm one of those guys. 1879 law book. It has a parliamentary law book, which is one of the subjects that I'll be discussing at officer leadership training this year. It has a Lightfoot monitor. Brothers, where? But in Texas Freemasonry, Texas Masons app, will you find the Lightfoot monitor in digital form? Except everywhere else on free. Oh, what handy.
Did we lose you just now?
Awesome.
You got a little
I
choppy.
hope not.
It was me. And
Maybe.
okay.
I got excited.
So that.
Man, it's got in here. I hadn't even looked at it all yet. And it's got the Masonic memorial services in here. It's got Sam Canton's burial service in here. Canty, not Canton, Canty. It's got this one has all the lodge proceedings all the way back. All the way back, brothers, all the lodge proceedings. So you have all the Grand Master's decisions from the beginning, so that when you go and say, well, the law book says this, and then somebody like Jim runs and says, yes, but in 1839 there was a Grand Master's decision that says this. And he always does, because he knows. He's got a memory like an elephant, for real. But you've got them now too. It's just an awesome map.
I don't really know what kind of memory an elephant has. Has an elephant ever told about something it shouldn't be able to remember?
They took the Texas Star aptitude test.
I heard that it taught an elephant all the catechism and he never forgot
it. Yeah, then they're definitely smarter than me, because I have to go back and relearn it all the time. Keep yourselves sharp, brothers. It's and that's another cool thing about travel. That's one of the things that we do whenever we go to do a degree. We because we have Goliad's well known for having a very good team. And so when we travel together, a good degree team. And when we travel to go help other lodges and stuff with degrees, that's what we do on the way, is we'll practice the degrees, and then on the way home, that's when we talk about all the stuff and get into fights, and then I usually have to walk home. But that's not really something that we share all the time. Goliad's not always that perfect. They would never do that to me. They love to hate me. No, they love to hate me.
I got you. We have one bonus here shortly if we can get everything working out. So that's what I've been working on.
Well, cool.
And then
oh, that's fine.
I know
then we can get into your topic of the day.
Do it.
Effed up and emotional. You're fine?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm gonna hold up on my talk, and we're gonna see if he can go or not.
Okay. Brothers, I'll give another quick shout out to Brother Fluff and all that he's doing lately. If you have him on TikTok, he's got all kinds of cool messages all the time.
Bluff?
And he's one of our very favorite.
Brother
Bluff?
What's further?
Brother Bluff? Brother Bluff?
Yeah.
Guitar secret code words. Brother Brother Fluff from up in northwest Texas. And he has a great TikTok, and now he has a podcast.
What did he do?
And so I recommend anybody to tune in. I think he started a podcast. Oh. Yeah, he got into that game this last month, I think. I hadn't tuned in yet. I haven't had a chance to. I've been.
What was that?
I know. What's up, Buff?
What's up with that?
What's up? Just saying. You know we're here. You know we're here. Scared? Yeah, right. Fluff is like me on top of Justin's shoulders. That's the. He's a big West Texas boy.
Is he tall?
You know,
no, I mean,
Justin, you're not that.
No, I'm just like, I've met him before. I didn't think he was tall or anything.
I'm sorry. You've got a foot on me, and then he's got about 6 inches on me. So.
That's still more. That's nice.
So for me,
I don't get to say so yeah,
yes, I come from the Lollipop Guild. I come from the Lollipop Guild.
makes them. It's all making sense. It's all coming together.
Short people got nobody to love.
I don't
Remember that song?
remember that.
No, you're too young. I went to that
I
concert
believe
when I was
that.
a kid
I believe
at Six Flags. Yes, short people got nobody to love. But anyways, brothers.
Nothing. I sing.
Yeah, I need to stop. So that's kind of the cool stuff that's been going on, and so it's very exciting though that we are serious that we're going to have a festive board, and we're going to do a soft open next year at the beginning of the year. Hopefully, if it all works out, then we will move into a more serious mode and really set up a quality. Well, we're going to have a quality festive board to begin with, but hopefully we'll have a quality lineup of speakers to help educate us as well as our friends and our family of brothers and just have a really good time with Freemasonry and learn something and be fed well and we may even have like a live auction or something. I mean, that's always fun. Or even just a silent auction. I mean, silent auctions are cool too. But we have a Brother White up in West Texas that does an excellent live auction, and I would love to have. It's always fun when we do that. It's just good camaraderie.
Yeah.
That's going to be very exciting. What was that other thing that we were talking about today? I know that it was something that I was really interested in, and I'm talking all day long.
Well, I believe you. No, but it was God, yeah, I can't remember it either. And it was we even said we were going to talk about a date, and you forgot. Hold on, I'm trying. Sorry,
But I'm old. Oh, okay. But I'm old and I have that excuse. I feel bad that our listeners are listening to this kind of stuff while we're going live because we're not very good at this. We're learning as we go, and so guys, it's entertaining. It's entertaining.
Just finish this, and then I will head and bring up what I talk about. Yeah, sending it. Okay. All right, Beth, check your email. But that should work. So you just type it and it should work. Okay. So I wanted to discuss some aspermism and how to relate.
Oh,
Mark Russell, will you gentlemen be at the Texas Masonic Con in Austin? Why, yes, we will. Thank you for asking.
You mean in Fort Worth? That one's in Fort Worth.
I meant to say August. Sorry. In August. Yeah.
Oh, in August.
Yes. This will be moping out. And actually, we'll be doing officer leadership training. And I will be giving a leadership training as well. I will also be giving a present at Monica. Let's see.
For 30 minutes. We only let him talk about 30 minutes at OLT, and then so that's why he's got all the time to go do that.
When I have more than 30 seconds to talk, I don't know what to do with it because I'm just not used to it. Matt Barksdale.
But they have him. They have
him
with me. They have him with me.
Their Bob Hammond, he voted worship master at Little Cypress Lodge, Harlan, Texas. What go, bro?
Congratulations. And that's congratulations to all you worship masters out there, and a note to all the past masters out there. My year was good because the past masters were so
Yeah.
supportive to me. We because we had kind of goals that the whole lodge was backing and behind, because we had that peace and harmony going for a few years. My year was nice because I was following the footsteps even through COVID. We were working on the lodge and everybody was moving forward with projects and it was running smooth. And man, the best thing in the world is having your past masters be your biggest cheerleaders.
It's all
You know,
it.
it really is.
Weird when it's that.
You know, it's okay until they hit 80 years
So
old.
what?
That's I said it's okay till they hit 80 years old.
So anyway, I want to talk about just aspects of physics and how it's in the principle of Hermetism, namely the universe being mental. So yeah, and we're seeing a lot of this lately. Well, if you
That's a tough one for a lot of people to grasp.
and I say still just because of that stuff I plug in, but more and more scientists say that it's highly possible that reality as we know it is some type of a simulation or something like that. And the idea being that we already have games like The Sims and things like that. So the idea being, what will games look like 100, 200 years from now? The type of things that they're capable of, type of thing technology be capable of, is mind-blowing compared to today. And so, this way. Let's see here.
Well, I think, and for people to kind of get a grasp, that's fine. For people to kind of get a grasp on what the concept is, think of Matrix. That's the easiest way to think about it. Except you're not really in a pod going through this illusion of time and space and physical matter, but you're actually in a state of energy, and that state of energy creates this this physical reality. And because and then in order to tie it together so that you understand why I can see you and you can see me and I can and Justin and so forth, is because the all in all, it combines all of our energy together to where all of our mental states are in tune together so that we work together and function together. And so that's it in a nutshell. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes.
If I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, somebody come on the show and tell me. Besides Justin, because I don't believe.
Hang on, man. I'm looking, so was paying attention to you, but at the same time, I was looking at things. So I'm trying to get. I'm trying to
just don't pay
hook up
attention to
Seth. I guess I'm trying to figure my end what I could.
So it wasn't Justin's problem.
Well, yeah, it's my problem because I'm trying to fix it. But yeah.
Seth, we had the same issue when I started.
Well, that was an old guy problem. That's different.
Yeah, but we see the old guy that's trying to get you connected right now is the same old guy at fault earlier. So now he's trying to fix his problem. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, brothers, that is an excellent topic, and it's a very fun one. It's one that I love. If you have any comments on it,
what I wanted to say
share them.
Was this concept. And so, what I think is interesting is if you look from like perspective, and you start zooming in on merit in general. That's it. Start zooming in on merit in general, then things get smaller as you go, right? So you have the say like human,
right?
and if you zoom in, you start the like and then system and organs, and eventually break out and you see cells. Cells made up. Oh my
I was gonna say,
god!
speed it up.
God.
Come on. We're past
Cells.
that.
Cells made of organelles, and
Mr. Chicho.
organelles is a term. Ultimately, you start seeing things be atoms, and you break down atoms a little bit more. Things get weird when you start dealing with atoms. Things become it's taking on like ape-like properties as much as they do physical properties. But ultimately, you get a point where you
Like energy.
you to a point where you can't shut down anymore. The idea right now that technology look.
Right now we can't.
It almost here's kind of point where you hit a brick wall, and there's not really anything else. So what's really odd about that is really everything has to be made of something. Really should probably almost be able to look at an infinitesimal amount of things, consisting of other things. Because ultimately, if something anywhere in this hierarchy of things that are listed, if something that made something, then it doesn't exist. It's not really there, and that goes all the way back up. So, from a physics perspective, it almost really kind of support this. I said simulation theory. I think simulation theory is really just our modern viewpoint, and our way of saying something.
See, I don't know what
So the simulation theory is the idea that
okay.
that yeah,
I didn't know that.
theory. But I don't think of modern day. But if you look back early on with like Hermetic ideas, saying the universe is mental, in my opinion, it's just a different way of saying the same thing. And granted, it didn't have to say it to validate this belief as we do today by being able to look really at atoms, things like that. But I think they're the same things, and I think we'll start with that.
Right. And yes. And if you think about the other principles that would allow you to, like, let's say, if you you utilize vibration to work with down to the basic level, to where you can mesh those two basic levels together, because when you break them down to that point, it all becomes like an energy state, and that's where you're able to actually walk through walls and do all the different things that they talk about. It's pretty cool when you think about it. And what's mind-boggling to me is that I think, and this is just me, and I'm probably completely ignorant, but I think that we are. I didn't need that.
I mean, I think it's possible.
You hurt my
I think
feelings.
that's possible.
I'm gonna.
You don't.
But that's
have those.
but that's the Hermetic. Those are the Hermetic principles. But the what I think is very cool, though, is that if you think about it, we think that we're this complex being on this earth or what have you, but really we're just another microorganism when you look at all the stars, think about what we might be a part of. We might be a part of somebody's soap dish, and we don't even know it because we're such a small piece of that other reality. It's a different reality, and it's a different time and space because it is such a bigger expansion. So at our level, we're actually just another level. So if you go bigger than us, it's the solar system, and then bigger than us, it's multiple solar, and it just gets bigger and bigger. So who knows? Either way, who knows? We're getting close to the teeny tiny stuff, but who knows what's really out there? And that's why you can't help but to know that there's aliens somewhere, because it's
well, that's entirely
just
conversation.
No way. There's no way
Seth,
there's not.
Seth,
that is an entirely.
It's just not worth it tonight, man. We'll have anyway, next time we do a live, we'll where you hop in with us in the beginning, and we'll get squared away. And maybe minutes you can really just have at it. But yeah, my computer stream is slow as it, and so it's just working for me right now. The whole
You're
L line is an interesting idea, and if you look at the sheer size of existence, then it's I would say it's far more probability. I'd say it must be a statistic certainty that there has to be something somewhere out there that has some level of intelligence. It's otherwise it's just us, and really either way, really, if you look at it, there's no real scarcity in the universe, right? And what I mean by that is, regardless of sharing this existence with anything that is sentient, the universe is 99% uninhabited, right? And
why don't you look at the screen?
What?
Look at the camera. You keep looking at the screen. Everybody sees your headphones. They don't
see my face. They just hear my soothing
Come on,
voice.
show us those baby.
So anyway,
show us those baby.
Anyway,
look, show everybody your bow tie. I want to see. Yes, looky there.
For some reason, so put on a tie. Whatever. Anyway,
he didn't have to do it.
Yeah. Well, I knew you were going to do a bow tie. I'm not going to do one me.
Well, yeah.
But
go ahead with.
So there's no scarcity in the universe, just under being able to access it. There's entire asteroids and things like that out there that have far more rare metals than we have on Earth. It's just a matter of getting to them. And so,
everybody in the world, I want you to say thank you to my wife for letting me play with y'all. She's good. She's sorry, she just brought me my nighttime medicine so that I do go to sleep at some point tonight.
Nice, sir.
Yes, but I dropped the most important one. Yeah, that's the one that keeps me.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you dropped things over there. That's right. Anyway, those are kind of conversations that we usually have on the way back from a long night of Freemasonry. Talking about
yes. And not only that, you and I talk about these things on the phone, and then we always say we should do a podcast about that, and then we've already talked about the conversation and forgotten by the time we get home.
Aliens.
Well, not about aliens, but we talked about physics.
Yeah. Well, I talked about
Well, you talked about physics. I talked about hermeticism, which is the reality of it.
I think they're both synonymous with each other.
They are. But you know what's cool, brothers, is that in all reality, that's Freemasonry, and that's why geometry is so important, because it's the measurement of all things in degrees, and so that's why it's such a key part of Freemasonry, and it's something that you ought to dig into a little bit, because you go through the degrees and you learn that geometry is an important thing, but you don't realize why geometry is also the grand architect of the universe. In the square and compass. That's a lot of why it's related like that, because of those simple facts, and those are the things, us having these conversations, and no matter what level you're on as far as these conversations, we're only able to talk about this because we've been educated through other people and learned it along the way. But no matter what level you're on in the discussion, you've had those thoughts. You've thought about those things. Not just you, Justin, but everybody. Everybody has had those thoughts. At least I can guarantee you, every true Freemason, the ones who joined for the truest reason of exploration, self and spiritual exploration, without the bounds and constraints of religion in itself, they get it.
Geometry is also interesting. Going back to science background again, if you look at molecules, they often arrange in geometric arrangements with one another. Well, we don't know if it's kind of coincidence. Water is especially interesting. Water is the only what's the word?
See how I set him up?
So water is the only substance that we know of that actually becomes less dense as it becomes colder, right? Most other compounds and elements, things like that, let's say combined form compounds and stuff, when they become colder, usually things become denser, and but water, what turns to ice, actually is less dense. And looking at a geometric perspective is because the molecules align themselves when it freezes, it actually spreads out more, which is very good for us, because that's what makes ice able to float on water and phenomena like that. So if water was everything else, and it serves it froze, you had glacier floating, or like a layer of ice on top of a lake or anything like that. So in that perspective, geometry is really interesting. But also, when you look at, I guess,
I think it's interesting.
we look at, I guess, so very topics like the golden ratio, and or the gold rectangle is sometimes called, and things like the Fibonacci sequence. Which isn't strictly geometry, it's still dead mathematical. These are all things that.
But let's break this.
Break what we're breaking. I was just saying, these are all things that you lost what I thought when you did that. These are all things that have real, they're not necessarily theories, because you can actually see evidence of these numbers in nature.
Right. But what I was gonna say though is for all you not so big nerds out there in terms like I like to think. I just like to think about geometry as far as, by the way, Justin, I heard that nerd is a good thing now. I heard that's not a derogatory remark anymore. So I just leveled him up. But anyways, so another thing to think about is back in the day, before we had all this science, before we had all this understanding, our first free thinkers were the ones who realized that they could utilize geometry with the alignment of the stars to figure out that the Earth is round and the Earth is moving, and be able to chart courses on the ocean and understand the longitudinal, how do you say that? Longitudinal. There you go. See, he's my tutor. And latitudinal degrees of the Earth. I mean, geometry is man. I mean, it's not only does it, and it just goes along with the Hermetic principles and the physics that you were talking about earlier, how everything is the same except it just shrinks down into a smaller starting point. And the same principles apply in a smaller state as it does on the micro as it does on the macro.
We're in this rabbit hole with the little arts and everything. Numbers, math itself is very interesting, and that go back to simulation theory, for example. And you look to use sims as an example of a program. If you wanted to create a program, you have to have some kind of a code, right? And really, the code of reality is numbers, is numerical, and just like with the code, sure you can have code, but if you don't actually write it and do something with it, then it's just a bunch of words, commands that have no value. And so I think from a simulation perspective, numbers themselves are the code of reality. Geometry and things like this are seeing code in action. And
Right.
From going back to physics perspective,
it's the application of the application of the numbers.
There's all kinds of constants and mathematical formulas that hold true, that explain everyday phenomena and things like that. And they're consistent. And I mean the same formula to calculate gravitational acceleration works for Earth as it would on Jupiter. So these are universal laws, universal equations, and the numbers. Even if an alien civilization calls it different, counts differently, the math will still check out, and it should still be universal.
It's yes, yeah. There's certain truths, and that's another thing that Freemasonry teaches us, is that there's some things that are just, there's certain truths that you just can't skirt it, you can't skate around it. You just got to realize that there's certain things that no matter how you twist it, there's only one truth, and
Sure.
and so we try to justify things and rationalize things and twist and turn those things, and based on our own motives, but the truth is the truth. And so that's why the tenets are teaching us to how to become better men, by realizing that if we are just, we get to the truth, and we become better because we care about the this is hard to explain now. All of a sudden I just lost how I'm going to explain it. I had it earlier, sorry. Yes. But you guys know what I'm saying, and you've all had these thoughts. So it's not like I'm talking about something special. You've all had these thoughts. That's what's so beautiful about our fraternity and and what we do, because most of our fraternity have had those thoughts. And like I was talking to you about that guy on Messenger today, and I said he just doesn't get it. And no matter how I explain it, he just doesn't
what
get
did
it.
you say? Let me
that
put it up quick.
Oh my God, don't pull that up. That is like the worst thing you could ever do to me. He's got the ultimate black
yeah,
belt,
I
guys.
got him.
I will be working for free for the rest of my life for this man because of what I said on a text that I sent him because somebody didn't get it. And I was trying to explain it in 20 different ways, and no matter how easy I put it, it just didn't click. And the reason why is because he doesn't have that moral fabric. Freemasonry requires a certain moral fabric for you to understand the tenets that we're teaching. That's why we go through the vetting process. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. So that's if you don't grasp certain truths,
yeah,
you're not going to get it, and hopefully you're not going to get it.
It is two final thoughts. This can lay over here in my hemisphere.
Oh my gosh.
This is Goliath.
Go ahead. I'll
This is Goliath equal.
It is.
Yeah.
You would think so. It's a whole different world. People turn a different way than up there.
What are your final thoughts?
Our toilets flush a different direction.
United States.
My final thought is that next time we're going to be more.
I think this is fine.
People,
I think this is with the live show. People expect a little more informality. I think people expect a little bit more laid back, so that we can have
right.
forth. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and ultimately, brothers, that's what we do. Is we're expecting to field questions.
And really, in the day, if auto is working and I haven't any complaints, then I'm happy because that means somebody said that works great. And so, still lagging a little bit apparently. That's probably PC.
It's working better.
PC at some point, but yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's because I am a robot. It says I sound like a robot. That's because I really don't have much of a personality. So, yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. Then, final thoughts, please.
Who was it that said that? Okay. My final thoughts. Brothers, there's a few certain truths about Justin and I that you should really know, and you probably know by now if you're listening to the podcast. Number one is we are extremely passionate about the craft. We love Freemasonry. We love our brothers. We're passionate about people. We enjoy sharing the things that we learn with you guys. And we love getting to meet you guys when we travel around and meet y'all, whether it's for an engagement where we've been asked to speak, or if it's just doing a festive board or going to a Grandmaster's conference or officer leadership training. And we love it. We love people, and we especially love Freemasons because they're kind of thinking the same way we are anyways. We follow those certain truths, those certain paths, and we can have those conversations, the tough ones, the good ones, the bad ones, and we walk away brothers because of that brotherly love and affection. We're able to see the good that each side has when we're talking, and we're trying to just come to a conclusion together that none of us really know the answer to, on how somebody moves their eyebrows like that. We just don't know.
We never know.
I can't move my eyebrows like that, but I can do a rabbit's nose. I'm not going to show you tonight, but I can do a rabbit's nose.
We're okay. Yeah.
But we have fun with our Freemasonry. We do have fun with our Freemasonry. We try to crack jokes outside of the lodge. Inside is serious.
He tries. I deliver.
Yeah. He tries to find a punchline in anything that I say. He's going to try to find a punchline. So, ta-da-da. He's that guy. Yeah. He's that guy. He's the one-liner guy.
So, man, if you give you one
but no. Right. Direct and straight to the point. I'm an elaborative type of guy. I like to tell the story. I love the story. That's why I love the degree so much. I love the story. But no matter where you come from, whether it's just the Blue Lodge or Scottish Rite or York Right-Minded or like running around on donkeys in the circus with the shrine, that's fine too. We all joined this fraternity because we had certain moral truths and certain values, and we wanted to be with those other like-minded brothers that we can talk with and share with and not be judged harshly and be able to walk away as brothers. If you're not finding that in your Freemasonry, that's what we're here for. We're trying to help, as Justin pointed out earlier with our very first listener. That he came back after hearing the podcast, and man, that talk about goosebumps. Yeah. That's why we do. Yeah, that's why we do this. Talk about humbling. That humbles you. There's nothing more special than seeing a brother enjoy the Freemasonry that we enjoy. That's because we do. We love every aspect of it. And that's why we talk about doing what we need to do to make sure it's still there for our future, for our kids and kids. We get serious about these things because we want to preserve that for the future. Not preserve as in, be dogmatic in one way and one way only, but preserve in having that vessel for brothers like us to get together and have those conversations. So you're always welcome to reach out to us. Another thing that we did want to talk about a little bit was that Freemasonry isn't for getting rich. It's for getting rich in spirit and with your mind. And when you grow in spirit and mind, you're able to accomplish better things for yourself and for your family and for your community. That's the reality of it. And anybody that's coming in thinking that they're going to get rich, we get these messages all the time. Justin, he has a hard time answering them. I'm the sap that tries to explain them. And sometimes it's very rare that I'm.
It's very rare. It's like I'll tell them this. I have the YouTube video, how to freeze, and there's a lot of comments on there. How do I become a Freemason? Well, start watching the video.
Please let me join.
This entire journey is a journey of self-discovery. You have to ask. It's all about you. You put work in. You. Right? And so I provided all the information. And so if you can't take it on yourself, to take that and move with it, then you're not ready.
And the reality is that you were able to find us. You can find Freemasonry if it's available to you. So you don't need us to sign your petition. That's not what happens with us. We can end by finding out if there's a lodge out there, but really, if it's outside the states, we have. So in Freemasonry, there are certain books and records that show all the affiliated lodges throughout the world, but we're limited. We don't know if the lodge is shut down this year or not, or whatever. So you got to look for yourself online. If you can Google us, you can Google the lodge that's right down the street from you. That's simple. And if they're telling you no, there's a reason they're telling you no. There's nothing anybody's going to do for you at that point. I'm sorry. And if they tell you no and you truly believe that they just didn't understand you for some whatever reason, then you need to keep showing up until they change their mind about you. You know, yeah,
or maybe
exactly.
instead of just showing up, but looking at lodges, because that might be a fit for you.
Yeah, right. It's not always, but we had a brother that tried to join, and we turned him down because of something way back in his past. But we knew that he was a pretty decent guy, so we let him come and have dinner with us and keep having dinner with us. And we got to know him over 2 years. He waited for 2 years and then petitioned again. And lo and behold, every brother that had reservations were the first ones to sign that petition and welcome him in. And he is one of our strongest assets in our fraternity. I can tell you that by personal experience. So, maybe at the moment you might not have the right motives, and you may have to wait a little bit and then go back later when your mind is right and your spirit's right.
You hear the final thoughts?
Yeah, brothers, we're like Justin mentioned earlier and we talked about, festive boards are awesome and they're becoming more popular. They really should be happening after every lodge meeting, but it doesn't happen. But in the near future, we're gonna have a festive board that we're gonna put together. Masonic Improvement's gonna put it together, and then we'll put it out there for you. We are taking suggestions on locations and venues. So if you have ideas, share them with us. And then we will certainly consider it. But either way, we will be announcing it and letting you know when it's going to happen. The first one's going to be a soft open. It's going to be a festive board mainly, and maybe a little bit more. Maybe having a little bit of education right before with just me and Justin. But later on, it's going to evolve into a more formal thing to where we have a real panel of guests come in and talk to you about different ways to help your lodge. And then maybe at dinner, we can all drink a little bit and listen to somebody talk esoteric and really dumbfound us. I mean, that might be cool. That might be a cool venue. Start out the day learning about your lodge and then lighten up a little bit and talk a little bit of esoteric. That's kind of fun, if you ask me.
I would say we should make a video on spirit education. That seems... Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that definitely sounds interesting. I think probably spirit education is probably a little bit broad. If you want to be specific, you have to do that, right? I mean, spirit education, that's not a 45-minute video or anything like that. That's something that live here in my opinion.
If you're talking about faith or the faith journey, that could be wrapped up in an hour. But it
take longer.
Well, I mean, you can go through the basics of faith, and it's.
I think maybe faith and spiritual approach. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you want to elaborate on what you mean by spirit education.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
there's too many different realms of spirit.
I mean, it's a very broad topic, and I don't know. I mean, we can do a whole series of spirit education, and maybe still not cover specifically what you have in mind. But that's an interesting idea.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do is build each other up.
Yeah. Otherwise, me personally, I enjoyed these lives. I think we need to do them now that I think we got most of the technical issues out of the way. Other than that, definitely looking forward to OLT coming up here soon in Texas, as well as Masonic Con, and I guess something too. There's a lot of good things going on. Definitely, if you are
there's festivals everywhere that's that there's OLT, there's going to be a festival just about, except for Corpus, and then we're going to do a master's degree on the Lexington in Corpus, which is awesome.
If you are in Texas, definitely keep an ear out for OT area. Be sure to sign up for that. It's going to be well worth time. Me and Dennis will be there, so if you want to meet me, or I guess if you really want to meet Dennis or something, but he'll be there too. Masonicon.
Man, I'm going to be and on Saturday nights, man. That's when I like to kick back with the guys, and we just talk for Masonry.
That was the time. But other than that,
yeah. So real quick on the OLT, it's digital registration only. So you don't have to wait to hear about it. Go online to Grandview and log into Grandview. If you don't have an account, you need to set one up. It's for Texas Freemasons only. That's what this is for. It's for Texas Freemasons. Log into Grandview, go to the event calendar, find the event, and click on it, and it'll take you to be able to sign up and pay and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
That's how it happens. Yeah. So just so that you know, and that's the only way that we're accepting.
I do also want to add this. This is more for us. What I'm about to say, but it's just interesting. And so you said earlier in the comment that you feel like these need to be more prepared. I mean, Brooke left something similar to what I'm about to say. And I'm looking at the average view duration from this live stream. The average duration is about 5 minutes, right? And so you're not necessarily looking for like a long-term goal for the live stream. It's if we can talk about things we don't want to hit up, we did talk about the Fed board and talk about a little bit semi-esoteric stuff, which is very interesting. But I feel like I had this more a like unscripted, where covers and goes, where Tom's lives, that kind of thing.
Well, and yes, and as we get do this every month like we plan on doing now, that's one of the things we're going to talk about. Go ahead and mention that.
Yeah. And so
we're going to do a wrap up every month.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Yeah. So Cal said hit the wrap up this month, and I will post pretty soon in the next few days. I'm just going to post all the stuff we talked about so far this month, and I'll start doing that every month on the Masonic Improvement Facebook page. So lots of content coming out from us these days. It's probably only going to increase.
Oh, we got
so I'm just going to do it's hard for you to keep up with everything. So I'm sure as a casual listener, with other stuff coming out, it's probably hard to keep up with it. So at the end of every month, I'm just gonna just a wrap up, and we'll talk about the live stream also. But definitely just I'll make a post say, hey, here's all the videos we talked about that we went over this month. If you missed any of them, be sure to check it out. But that said, that's all I got for tonight. It's getting late over here. My children are very quiet, which is concerning to me. But I appreciate everyone taking time out of their Saturday evening to hop on here and listen, and appreciate Dennis taking time out of his day. That said, that's all I got.
Brothers, it's been a pleasure. Keep it between the points.
So that I figured the scout.
Are we still live?
Oh, scout. It's like there we go. Here we are. And okay, we are done.